I have been a fan of kart racers almost throughout my entire life. Mario Kart 64, arguably the game that revolutionized 3D kart racers, was my introduction to the genre itself. I've gone to play many kart racing games since then, spanning from different series and different gaming consoles. Personally, I like these games because they have a good balance of casual play and competitive play. In this channel, we have discussed Mario Kart 64 and Diddy Kong Racing. These are two instant classics of the Nintendo 64, as well as two of the best games of their genre during the 5th generation console. Therefore, it's only fitting that we have to discuss another instant classic of the same generation, known as Crash Team Racing, or CTR in short.
CTR is one of the most well-known kart racing games of all time. Released in 1999 exclusively for the Sony PlayStation, it is heavily regarded as the most technical and entertaining game of its subgenre. Almost every kid who grew up in the early 2000s immediately thinks of CTR when they think of kart racers. At least that's how it is in our home country of Indonesia. In this video, we will talk about everything in regards to CTR. What makes CTR stand out compared to other kart racers like Mario Kart. I would even go as far as to say CTR is the Magnum Opus of kart racers. From the development history to the gameplay technicalities, we will discuss them all. So, fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen, for another Naughty Dog creation!
Before I begin the video, I would like to introduce my guest for today. His name is Eray Ryuki, an Indonesian VTuber who is part of a 5-man virtual boy band called Versa. He's a big fan of Spyro, a series that shared a lot of history with Crash Bandicoot. Not to mention, based on the list of childhood games he posted on his X account, Eray is certainly a dinosaur like me. So, without further ado, this is your Crash Team Racing retrospective video.
The original Crash Bandicoot was first released in 1996 for the Sony PlayStation. It was developed by a studio called Naughty Dog after accepting a publishing deal from Universal Interactive Studios. Both companies agreed to have the game being exclusive for the Sony PlayStation due to the system not having a mascot character at the time. The game would eventually become a success, selling 6.82 million copies worldwide, to which it was half of the sales number for Super Mario 64. Crash Bandicoot proved that it was able to compete with video game icons such as Mario and Sonic. With a solid entry, Sony was adamant to make Crash Bandicoot as its mascot. This would lead to Naughty Dog developing 2 more Crash Bandicoot games the following years, establishing a solid trilogy for the series. Although the Crash Bandicoot trilogy was a huge success, Naughty Dog was heavily drained from their development. On an article at Games Radar, one of the game designers for Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, Daniel Eray, mentioned that Sony was pushing for one more Crash Bandicoot game. According to Eray, Naughty Dog didn't want to create a 4th Crash Bandicoot game as they believe have done everything there is for the series. Worth mentioning as well that every Crash Bandicoot game, excluding the first, took around 9 to 11 months to develop, and Naughty Dog was pumping these games for 3 years in a row. Creating a new Crash Bandicoot turned into a burned-out process for the developers. Naughty Dog wanted to pursue something new for their next project, yet Sony insisted on creating a new game for the series. To fulfill the demand of a new Crash Bandicoot game, Naughty Dog pitched the idea of a 3D kart racing game. This decision, according to Daniel Eray, was made because the team had many 3D assets that could be used to make a perfect racing game. Not to mention, they were playing Mario Kart a lot during their spare time. It was the right time to create their unique take of the popular subgenre. Naughty Dog's co-founder Jason Rubin stated that he is a big fan of kart racers. The creation of CTR also meant that it would be the first kart racing game developed by an American studio for the Sony PlayStation. It was a pretty big deal for them.
We at Naughty Dog are huge fans of the kart racing genre. we're also extremely into multiplayer games, and we really wanted to bring the two of them to the PlayStation. And in America, this is the first time actually that it's really been done for the PlayStation.
According to Jason Rubin, the development took around 8 months with a budget of $2.4 million with a team of 18 people. Members of the team include Charles Zembilas and Joe Pearson as model designers who were also responsible for designing the characters for the Crash Bandicoot trilogy. Another prominent member was Bob Ravey as the art director and environment designer, who would also later become the art director for the Jak and Daxter series and Uncharted Drake's Fortune. The development of CTR started around the same time as the development of Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. According to CTR's lead designer and former president of Naughty Dog, Evan Wells, during the game's prototypical stage, they built a replica of the Crescent Island course from Diddy Kong Racing. This was done to test whether a fully rendered 3D kart racing game of the same scope was possible for the PlayStation.
We actually built an entire replica of Crescent Island from Diddy Kong Racing because we wanted to say, okay, this is a track we know is fun to play. In another game, we want to make sure that we can reproduce a track of that scope and scale on the PS1. And so we built that in its entirety, pirate ship and all, and we were able to prove that, okay, yeah, we can actually build this environment, we can fit it in memory, frame rate, all that stuff works. Of course, it never saw the light of day, it was never supposed to, we were copying somebody else's work, so it's just for test, but you know, it's probably on our server somewhere.
Naughty Dog heavily modeled CTR from Diddy Kong Racing. They wanted to implement the adventure aspect of the Crash Bandicoot games in a kart racing game, something that Rare also did for Diddy Kong Racing. This meant that CTR would also feature an adventure mode where players are dropped in a theme park-like hub world. Considering CTR was made for the PlayStation, Naughty Dog was developing a game for a CD format. This meant that they had the potential to do more, given the fact that the PlayStation disc has more memory than the N64 cartridge, though it's not without its limitation. For a start, CTR has a roster of 15 characters in total, which is a huge leap compared to Mario Kart 64 and Diddy Kong Racing. A bit of a fun fact, Polar and Pura were originally meant to drive a kart together as a single character. However, they decided to make them separate characters due to the PlayStation limitation. The game was able to have more cinematics with voice acting as well, featuring high-profile voice actors, such as Brandon O'Brien, Clancy Brown, and Hynden Walsh, to name a few. Once again, this was possible due to the PlayStation disc's larger memory. Other technical advantage of using the PlayStation is CTR's gameplay mechanics, which is the primary reason why many consider this game as the best in the genre. We will discuss this topic in greater detail on this very next chapter.
Kart racers, in general, play very similarly with each other. It's a racing game with cartoonish characters using all kinds of wacky weapons to win. CTR follows that standard rule of kart racers. What differs, however, is the gameplay mechanics. CTR's gameplay revolves around turbo boost. In previous kart racers, like Mario Kart 64, you normally speed up by using turbo items like power mushrooms or driving through turbo panels. CTR has those features as well. However, the game also allows you to trigger turbo boost manually. There are two methods on how you can perform turbo boosts. The first one is called Big Air Turbo. To pick up some extra speed, you can jump off ramps by pressing the R1 button and then land with a turbo boost. The higher you jump and the longer you are in the air, the longer you boost when you hit the ground. The second one is called Power Sliding. This is by far the most important mechanic in the game. You drift by either holding the R1 button or the L1 button. When you perform a drift, you can perform a boost by pressing the opposite button. So if you drift by pressing the R1 button, you boost by pressing the L1 button. However, you need to perform this rather carefully. When drifting using the R1 button, you will notice the black smoke coming out of your kart. Once the black smoke is visible, immediately press the L1 button to boost. Another way for you to do this is to look at your turbo meter on the bottom right of the screen. Once the meter turns from green to red, press the L1 button to boost. You need to time it correctly or else you will miss the boost. Keep in mind as well that power sliding can only be done 3 times per drift. The ability to manually boost your vehicle is what makes CTR the most technical kart racing game ever made. This made the gameplay more complex as it encourages players to be mindful with turbo boosting. Winning races is more dependent on player skills instead of just getting lucky with items. Karts were designed to perform maneuvers. According to the programmer, Daniel Eray, most kart racers are about soft controls. You mostly need to drive to keep yourself on the track. In CTR, however, it's all about tight controls. You need to improvise with the design of the racetrack in order to perform turbo boost with your vehicle.
A lot of racing games really are about soft control, and you have to just work really hard just to stay on the track. And we decided early on that we were going to give the player very tight control, and then within that, make the gameplay complicated so that you had to choose good lines and you had to avoid the obstacles and really work hard to maximize your lap times.
On an interview with Jason Rubin by IGN back in October of 1999, Rubin had this to say in regards to the highly technical gameplay of CTR.
The mechanics of CTR are far more demanding without being more frustrating than Mario Kart's. In Mario Kart, the gameplay came from trying to keep a kart with sloppy control on the track. Play Mario Kart after CTR and you will see what I mean. In CTR, the control is easy, it's the speed management that creates the challenge.
If you want to read the full interview, link is in the description below. Racetracks in CTR were also designed to facilitate its gameplay mechanics. According to the lead designer, Evan Wells, they wanted to give a unique theme for every track. For example, in Sewer Speedway, there's a half-pipe session where you can use it to perform Big Air Turbo. Other example is Cortex Castle, where all of the turns are sharp, thus allowing you to do more power slides.
Some of the other things we tried to focus on was giving each track a specific theme. In the sewer round, there's a half pipe that you race in, going up and down on the turns and sort of catching air on the lips of the pipe. And then another theme level we have is the castle level, where essentially all of the turns are 90 degrees. So it's a lot of right angles that you have to navigate very quickly and sharply.
Some tracks also have shortcuts that can only be accessed by performing the right maneuver. Take Sewer Speedway once again. There is a shortcut on top of the half-pipe session that you can only enter by using a jump boost. Performing this, however, requires the right player skills. Once again, this game encourages players to develop skills with its technical gameplay. Naughty Dog also enhanced the vehicular combat aspect of CTR. You can collect Wumpa fruits to juice up your kart, similar to that of the coin system in Super Mario Kart. In addition, collecting Wumpa fruits can also power up your weapons. When you collect 10 Wumpa fruits, weapons that you earn become more powerful. For example, the red TNT crate that takes around 3 seconds to explode becomes a green nitro crate that explodes immediately on impact. I find it very interesting that ever since the release of CTR, later Mario Kart games would apply the boost mechanics as well. Mario Kart Double Dash introduced the power slide, although not in the same manner as CTR. Mario Kart Wii introduced the aerial maneuvers that you can perform to boost your karts as you hit the ground. Competition really does bring the best in products. Naughty Dog essentially took everything that is good from past kart racers and improved them in CTR. The gameplay that revolves around Turbo Boost is what makes CTR the best in the genre, purely from a technical standpoint. It pushes players to be more skillful in the game and creates a better competitiveness as well.
Adventure mode is the first mode that players would normally choose when playing the game for the first time. As previously mentioned, Naughty Dog took notes from Diddy Kong Racing by adding this mode in the game. The story in Adventure mode involves an alien named Nitrous Oxide from the planet Gasmoxia. He travels to Earth and challenges its inhabitants to a race, as he claims he is the fastest racer in the entire galaxy. If Oxide wins, he will turn the entire planet into a concrete parking lot and turn everyone on Earth into slaves forever. But if Oxide loses, he will leave the planet forever. Crash and 7 other characters in the series must accept the challenge to save the Earth. Adventure mode consists of 5 interconnected hub worlds, with each of their own unique themes. 4 of the hub worlds consist of 4 race tracks, 1 challenge track, and a boss race. From a technical standpoint, CTR's adventure mode was really advanced for its time. According to Evan Wells, this was possible due to the engine that they were using and the memory capacity of the PlayStation disc. As you jump into the adventure, you must complete a trophy race for all 4 tracks of the hub world. To earn a trophy, you must win at first place. Once you have collected 4 trophies, the boss of that hub world challenge you to a one-on-one race. Defeating the boss will earn you a boss key that unlocks a door to the next hub world. Although you can go to the next hub world, the current hub world has not been completed yet. You unlock 2 challenges for each of the 4 race tracks that you have played earlier. The first challenge is the CTR challenge. In this challenge, you must collect the letter C, T, and R, as well as finishing the race at first place. This concept was taken from the Silver Coin Challenge in Diddy Kong Racing, where you have to collect 8 silver coins and finish the race in the first place. Winning this challenge will earn you a CTR token. The second challenge is the Relic Race. This is somewhat similar to the Relic Challenge in the Crash Bandicoot trilogy. You are racing against time, and you can slow down by hitting crates in the racetrack. Completing the track before the set time limit will earn you a relic key. There is also an extra track that you unlocked after defeating the boss of that respective hub world. In this track, you need to collect 20 crystals before the timer runs out. Completing the challenge will earn you another CTR token. Once you have completed the trophy races, CTR challenge, relic races, crystal challenge, and the boss race of the first hub world, you need to do them again for the 3 remaining hub worlds. Completing the 4 hub worlds gives you access to Challenge Oxide. Before you race Oxide, however, you can complete all the tracks in this hub world. There is a secret door with 2 boss keys in the final hub world. Beyond this door lies 5 portals for different colored gem cup race. You gain access to each gem cup race by collecting 5 CTR tokens of the same color. Completing a gem cup will earn you a gem of the respective color. In addition, completing gem cups also unlock characters for the arcade mode. The final hub world also has 2 more relic race tracks. You can earn 2 more relic keys before finally challenging Oxide in the final race. In total, you have 16 trophies, 20 CTR tokens, 18 relic keys, 5 gems, and 4 boss keys to collect in order to complete the adventure mode. Finally, after gathering all the collectibles, it's time to go one-on-one with Nitrous Oxide himself. Racing him is not an easy task. Oxide will do whatever means necessary to win, which also includes cheating at the start of the race. You will need to utilize every single skill that you learn in this game to finally defeat Oxide for good. The adventure mode in CTR is one of the most engaging mode in any kart racing games. Naughty Dog was able to blend well the adventure aspect of the Crash Bandicoot trilogy in a kart racing form. They took whatever works in the previous games and creatively improved upon them.
CTR provides a rich amount of content for players to enjoy. Out of all the kart racers in that generation, CTR has the most to offer in regards to replay value. You have the standard arcade mode where you can either pick a single race or cup race. Single race allows you to select a single track to race in, with the addition of having to choose up to 7 laps. Cup race is the standard Grand Prix mode like in Mario Kart, where you select a cup of 4 racetracks. To win the trophy, you have to accumulate the most points at the end of the cup race. Arcade mode can only be played up to 2 players, since this is the mode where you race against CPUs. In 2-player, however, the game has only up to 6 racers on screen. This was once again due to the memory limitation of the system. If you want to play up to 4 players, you can select the Versus mode. Just like in arcade mode, you can either pick between single race or cup race. Only this time, players are racing only against themselves without any CPUs. Battle mode is another mode that can be played up to 4 players. This is a mode that is very similar to that in Mario Kart 64. However, the game provides you with a customization option. You can select the number of points to finish the game. You can select the teams to decide whether you want to have a team battle or a free-for-all. You can even choose what weapons can be used in this mode. It's an overall quality of life changes that makes battle mode more fun to play. Last but not least, time trial mode to truly put your abilities to the test. Out of all the kart racing games, Time Trials in CTR is the most engaging I've ever played. It really tests you on how well you can master the techniques, especially with power slides. Not to mention, you can unlock a character in this mode, Dr. Entropy, by being the best time for all the tracks, so it's really rewarding as well. CTR doesn't really provide anything new in terms of game modes for a kart racer. It does, however, improves on them to give a better gameplay experience. It really shows you why it is the superior kart racing game of the 5th generation console. Crash Team Racing is one of the most technically impressive kart racing games. The game shows you the maximum potential of a kart racer for the Sony PlayStation. It has a rich amount of content, and it has the most in-depth gameplay mechanics as well. Naughty Dog really gave their all despite a very tight development schedule. Unfortunately, CTR would be the last Crash Bandicoot game that Naughty Dog developed, as they would eventually depart ways from the series altogether.
Naughty Dog's departure from Crash Bandicoot came from their dispute with the publisher, Universal Interactive Studios. According to an article on Eurogamer, Jason Rubin spoke out that Naughty Dog and Universal Interactive's partnership was abysmal. Not only did they push Naughty Dog to constantly pump out Crash Bandicoot games, the working condition during development was also harsh. Rubin claimed that their working stations was in a hallway on the 34th floor of the Universal Studios building. He also claimed that they had to work during summer days in that office up to 4 a.m., and the office wouldn't even let them turn on the AC past 6 p.m. The development team were not even allowed to bring their own AC, so they had to bring ice and fans to keep working. It was a grueling process for the team at Naughty Dog. In that regards, Naughty Dog decided to part ways with Universal Interactive. It wasn't hard to say goodbye to Universal Interactive, but it was hard to say goodbye to Crash Bandicoot as the IP was legally owned by Universal Interactive. Naughty Dog would eventually pursue a different IP, which is Jak and Daxter for the PlayStation 2.
Despite the abysmal relationship between Naughty Dog and Universal Interactive Studios, CTR was a critical and commercial success. Players consider the game to be the best kart racer on the PlayStation and even superior to Mario Kart and Diddy Kong Racing due to its highly technical gameplay. The game sold a total of 4.79 million copies worldwide, and it eventually became the 18th best-selling Sony PlayStation games of all time. Crash Bandicoot would end up having 2 more kart racing games for the next generation console. In 2003, we have Crash Nitro Kart developed by Vicarious Vision, and in 2005, we have Crash Tag Team Racing developed by Radical Entertainment. Both games were released in all consoles since the IP has ceased being a Sony exclusive.
CTR would also get a remake 20 years after its original game. The game is called Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, and it was developed by Beanox. Rather than being a remake of the original CTR, this game would be a celebration of the Crash Bandicoot series in general. The game also includes content from Crash Nitro Kart and Crash Tag Team Racing, as well as additional original content of that game itself. CTR Nitro Fueled is by far an even better game than the original. However, discussing the game would require a video by itself.
So that's it, ladies and gentlemen, a deep discussion on why CTR is the magnum opus of kart racing games. What are your thoughts on CTR? Do you consider this game as the best kart racing game ever made? Let me know in the comment section below. With that being said, this is me, Profar. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, give me a thumbs down. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, join the Profar Mokori Hunter X Discord server. I'll see you guys in the next video. Special shout out and thank you to Eray Ryuki for agreeing to join this project. Do me a solid and check out Eray's channel. He makes amazing music covers along with his bandmates in Versa. So, go to his channel once you are done with this video.